we're talking about people getting super scared of AI, and we're talking about, oh, this is going to take your jobs and all of that. But at the same time, Sora is not as cool or as scary as you thought it was, because they had that balloon video, and everybody, including ourselves,
especially you. Yeah, I remember you were really upset about it.
Right.
You were like, oh man, this is like the end.
Yeah, it really got me down. And the reason is because it just comes out and it's like, oh, look what Sora can do. Well, it turns out that's not the case. That's not what it can do. You know, it's just doing things that some of these other things are doing right now, like runway ML and stuff, right? It's doing the same thing. It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you can get it to do what you want it to. Sometimes you can't. And if you can't get it to do the thing that you want it to do, there's really not much you can do about that. You're pretty much screwed. It's not going to work, right? So it turns out there was a ton of rotoscoping. There was a ton of manual VFX. The team that had early access to this, the Shy Kids team that made that video, there was an interview with Patrick Cederberg, and he said control is still the thing that is most desirable and also the most elusive at this point. So not being able to control that stuff, I know there are AIs that have a lot of control and things, but it's still not the control you want. Like, if something isn't just quite there, that's it for you. You can't really go back to the AI. Yeah.
And that is 100% the thing that I have run into. I have used like AI generative art, you know, through lots of projects, and it sucks because it's like I have to spend so much time like curating and figuring out and redoing over and over again, hoping that it hits the right thing, you know?
Exactly.
That my jumble of words finally ends up making it to where it can see, you know? It's like, this is what it's like. It's like having the most talented, amazingly creative, dumbass intern who can't take directions.
Right.
You know, it's like you can create the most beautiful art in the entire world, better than anyone can make art, but you cannot take any direction.
Right.
So you've got to keep on coming back to me and being like, hey, is this good? No, do it this way. Hey, how about this? No, that looks similar to the last. What about this?
What about no, that's completely
it's not
different.
art directable at all.
Right. Can you move the fire hydrant to the left by an inch? Sure.
Right.
Here's a whole new version.
Here's a whole new version.
I didn't ask for that. And that's what gets me about these people that are on Facebook and other platforms. I've seen them commenting on a lot of things. AI bros. They don't come from this industry, and they think that this is it. I'm an artist. I've made it. I'm an artist now.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, but the second you try and make money, what happens when they tell you to move the fire hydrant to the left by 1 inch? You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You won't even know. You don't even know how to do that in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to know how to use this stuff and how to create stuff for other people. What happens when the client asks you, and I see people laughing at it in the comments, oh, that's just silly. Well, have you ever had a client that has asked you to do something like that? Because if you're laughing, I guarantee you haven't. And I guarantee you're not making money off of this. Who are you selling this stuff to? Who are you working projects for right now saying you're just strictly an AI artist? You don't have an Adobe account. You don't have Photoshop. You don't have anything but Mid-Journey. Give me a break. It's not happening right now. And that's why I'm saying it's not as close to midnight on the doomsday clock as we thought.
I agree.
Or there, but
I agree.
But
and it is
it's not ticking much.
I honestly think AI is going to be I think it's one of those dreams, right? It's like we all would love to be able, and you can do this to a point, right? Like you can put in all the scripts to every Simpsons episode for the first like 9 seasons, all the good ones, and say, produce me a new Simpsons one. But then you get it like, okay, easy stuff like that.
You get Bort Simpson.
Then it's like, yeah, you get Bort. We need more Bort license plates.
Yeah.
But it's like but then the animation part of it is it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I think AI animation is a pipe dream like rotoscoping. You'll never have to rotoscope again,
Yeah,
right?
they
I have been
always say
hearing
that.
that. I have been hearing that for 20 years. I've since CS5 and the Rotobrush came out. You will never have to rotoscope ever again, right?
Yep.
It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it will ever get to that point. And when it does, I mean, I think we're kind of at a precipice.
This is what we'll get.
I think we're really at a precipice here in like not only technology and art but humanity as it is. So and you know, this is like doom and gloom very much, you know, but it has very much been on my mind lately. The amount of compute power that this stuff takes. I mean, just look at Nvidia stock right now. Like, it's ridiculously high because Nvidia is the only company that can create GPUs that can do this stuff, right? Okay, you're going to get more and more stuff. You're going to get more and more compute power, and it's only going to take more energy, you know, and then we're going to throw more carbon dioxide into the air and we're going to burn ourselves all up real quick.
Yeah, Jeff says include the old Homer voice or it's not real. I know. And what's crazy is
Marge?
Not even that old, but like, I don't know what it is. It's the same guy. I don't know why the voice sounds different now, but I think it will be doable.
I actually know this answer. It's because he said doing the early Homer voice actually hurt a lot.
Oh.
And so he knew if he was going to continue, he needed to change it into something that was less painful. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, I would love that. I would love...
Back to doom and gloom.
I would love to be able to have that, and I'm not saying it's never going to happen, because, you know, the rate that technology increases and things, I don't think it could never happen. I think that, honestly, we're going to have a lot more problems in this world before we can get to that point, but at the same time...
I think so, too, yeah.
There's somebody that... You know, well, one of the things is going to be what happens with Taiwan. That's going to be a big deal. You know, either we're going to figure out how we're going to get more of these chips made in other places, and if we don't, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. If anything happens in Taiwan, it's going to really create a domino effect on any progress. That happens in this. And
I think they are building more chip sites here in the U.S.
They are,
right?
We got the CHIPS Act or whatever. I mean, it's in the works. They're trying to prevent that from happening, but it's got to happen quick. I feel like things are accelerating fast, and you know, so it could happen. And there's somebody who is working at OpenAI who has been rumored to have said they're one of the top engineers, and they're working on the AGI stuff. And
what's AGI?
Saying that it's like 3 years away to where you have an AI that's like more conscious in a way to where, like, you know, right now if you talk on OpenAI, right, and you ask it to do something and it doesn't do it right, and you're like, no, that's not what I meant. It's not learning from that mistake, for somebody else, right? So that's more what I'm talking about, and they're saying in about 3 years it will be to that point to where it will be the level of a college grad. Now you mix that with the robotics advances that are going on, and imagine that you had an AGI robot who could do all your labor tasks for you.
Yes, but again, that all comes down to, like, okay, we've got robots now. We can't even, like, recycle computer parts, you know? Like
well, the robots
how
will
much
be able to
of
help
the
us
world's
with that.
resources are going to be put towards, you know, and how much will we destroy the earth, you know, in order to feed robots,
again,
to create robots?
It comes back to the question, can we get AGI, which is artificial general intelligence? How fast can we get the AGI here so that it can fix that problem? because that's really what it is. If we can
Yeah.
get the AGI to figure out solutions to these problems, if the AGI has a college level intelligence, college graduate level intelligence, that means that the next step is that they start learning and fixing problems, and they can run a billion different versions of something and figure out what polymer is going to not have the most contaminants, coming off of it when it's produced, and all of that kind of stuff, right? And what's the best way to manufacture these things, and how are we going to offset for the fact that people are going to lose jobs? What happens when an automated car, electric car, can deliver your stuff from the robot factory of Amazon, and the robot gets out and carries it to the door for you? Your robot puts it on the shelves. Like, you don't have to do anything, right? But then we're going to have...
That's why you have kids, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
But then you're going to have some
they don't
sort
do
of...
shit.
Yeah, they don't. We're going to have a way to offset the fact that people aren't making money for that anymore. And my hope is AGI can be something hopeful that we're striving towards, so that it can fix problems before we destroy ourselves. I think that we're more likely to destroy ourselves than any form of AI destroying us. That's the way I
agree.
look at it.
I completely agree with that. Yes. I think we will destroy ourselves way before the AI has a chance to do it.
I, for one,
100%.
welcome our AI overlords, because I do feel like they are more likely to fix things, because they're going to look at it from a logical perspective instead of bringing the emotion into it, which could be bad if it has to do with, the solution is getting rid of humans. But other than that, I
really like what Sean said in the chat. He said, "My concern is consumer acceptance of crappier animations may grow as more and more of the garbage is produced and overwhelms what people see minutes a minute." And I 100%, like, it's funny you say that, because I have seen that over the past 20 years of being in this industry.
Oh yeah.
It's like you saw the advent of YouTube. And so the advent of, like, people pushing out just kind of these really crappy animations, like back
explainer
when
video,
back in my day,
marker board explainer videos.
Right. Well, but it's like you would never see a jump cut in a good edit, right? Unless it's specifically called for it. Now, every video you see online is just jump cuts.
That's a style.
Just jump
now.
cuts.
That's a style.
Exactly.
Now.
And you would have never done that back in the day. That was such a big faux pas
back in the day to have any jump cuts at all.
Right, exactly. But
you would
it's
cut
like
to B-roll and then cut back.
Our minds got used to it. We got used to that style. We also have gotten extremely used to seeing very compressed video. You go to YouTube and it'll be on 480p, and a lot of times you won't even think about it. You're just like, oh, I just want to watch this, And it's like, yes, we have gotten used to seeing that. You know what? Okay, so I see this all the time. Confetti, like confetti videos or whatever.
Worst. It's
the worst in digital, because digital cannot handle confetti
or particles.
It's compressed. It's crazy. Confetti on or stuff like that, or particles on like a full HD early back in the day when you were watching it on like an actual analog signal. Oh, beautiful. Like, just beautiful. But now it's like everyone's gotten so used to it just looking like garbage. It's like, okay, that's just garbage now.
Yeah, if you watched a broadcast over the air,
it's a style
HD,
based on poor editing decisions. Yeah, I like that.
If you watched the Super Bowl in HD broadcast, analog HD or like over the air HD, and at the end the confetti's flying, it looked great. But no, if you watch it on YouTube TV or whatever now, it looks awful. It looks
bad.
Awful.
So bad.
So that's our conversation on Sora. The only other quote was, while all the imagery was generated in Sora, the balloon still required a lot of post work. In addition to isolating the balloon so it could be recolored, it would often sometimes have a face on it as if it was drawn on with a marker, and this would be removed in After Effects.
See, I'm curious if, like, Okay, so what was the cost of doing it that way versus the cost of if you were just to go
Just
out
shoot
and
the
shoot
dang
it?
thing. And
Right,
then put a
because
balloon on the head.
no
Just
offense to
rotoscope it
them, but
out,
the
put a
quality
balloon.
wasn't like the quality wasn't,
Right.
you know, like Hollywood level. Like it was fine, you know, but it's nothing that like a cameraman or like a DP or something. It's nothing that like Jags or Nick could go shoot, you know, just on their A7 Sony cam thing that I don't know what kind of stuff that they use, you know. Like they're
Right.
great DPs and they
Mhm.
could shoot this themselves, you know.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so if you were to go and plan out all your shots versus like having to go through and spend so much time in post fixing it, I don't know.
My whole thing is that I'm not going to let it upset me.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are very up in arms about it.
There's a lot of people up in arms. Yeah.
I just don't feel like it's the most important thing in this world right now.
Yeah.
Just with other things going on, and I won't get political on this show.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later if you'd like in some other venue. But right now, I'm more concerned with things like that, and with things happening in this world before we are even able to produce AGI. You know? And so whatever we get is what we're going to get, and I'm going to roll with the punches, and I'm going to use the tools to the best of my ability to make as much money as I can while I can, and take that money and maybe invest it in something else to have as a backup. That's all I can think of, you know? I'm not saying I'm leaving
I am
the
very
industry,
excited
but
about this 20 for 1 or 10 for 1 split on Nvidia coming next month.
Yeah.
I have 2 shares of Nvidia. I'm about to have 20.
Yeah, that's going to be great for people who want to buy in a little lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and right now, but again, it comes back to Taiwan, right? And I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Is all I'm saying. You got to diversify.
Yep.
Invest in property and such. You know what I'm saying? Do some other things.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Got to diversify
I'm
your
just working
bonds.
day to day. I got to pay the mouse.
You got to pay the mouse. All right. Well, we got a few other things to talk about. I can't say we're not done. I can't say we're done with AI.
Yeah, we got one more
We're
AI
not done
thing.
with AI. But we'll take a break for a minute, and then we'll
Yeah.
be back, and we'll have more outrage.